My story started off as a college grad unhappy in my corporate job and living for the weekends. I started Beachbody as a discount coach so I could get my Shakeology at a lower price and start my weight loss journey. I told my coach that I wasn't interested in the business opportunity, but I was in a place in my life where I could really use to save some money. I even told my coach that I would cancel if he tried to bother me about this gimmick. Thinking back, I was probably one of those customers we dread as a coach. After my own 45-pound weight loss and helping a few members of my family get healthy in a life-altering way, something clicked. I started to understand what was in front of me, the chance to live a life of helping others while creating the life I wanted for myself. It was time to do more. So in the beginning, I tried to work my business, doing things here and there, putting out fires when necessary, but it wasn't working. I knew I had to step up and start setting goals along with the daily activities needed to achieve those goals in order to find success as a coach. One little problem. I had no idea how to do that. I started by reaching out to my upline and asking him where to begin. He agreed that putting my goals on paper was going to make my dreams more possible. Since I lacked that skill, I sought out personal development that would teach me how to create a list of goals and a game plan to achieve them. My first major goal lit that fire in my belly to succeed. I was working in a job that was just crushing my spirit. In order to leave my full-time job to be a full-time coach, there were some specific things I'd need to do along the way to make that possible. I knew I would have to reverse engineer my goals by working backwards to figure out the steps it would take to get there. So what would make my goal of leaving my job more measurable? Based on my living expenses and my savings, it would take me making $500 per week in order to start out as a full-time coach. Having that number in mind allowed me to then figure out what it would take for me to earn that kind of income weekly. I set out to determine the necessary daily activities I could add to my to-do list to make this hope a concrete reality. To earn $500, I set my goal to selling 5 challenge packs per week initially in order to build up a base of people who were working towards better health and continuing with Shakeology. I started to use the business activity tracker to track how many people I was connecting with each day. I realized I was speaking to 3 new people a day, but that wasn't enough. I had to adjust my numbers to fit my big goals. So instead of just talking to 3 new people a day, following up with a few and inviting a few, I upped my numbers. I started to talk to 10 people a day in each of those categories, and I immediately saw my results increase. I formed with 10 new people daily by starting genuine conversations with them. I also followed up with 10 people a day and made new connections, adding them to my pipeline of people I would continue to build those relationships with. My main focus in the heart of my business has always been about building relationships. I never wanted to treat people as a sale or a number. I made a decision early on that I would only run my business with integrity. I've always had quantifiable goals, both monetary and Success Club driven, but the people I was connecting with were never thought of as a point or an income opportunity to me. In the beginning, while working full-time in my corporate career, I spent 3 hours a day building these relationships. My time was limited, so I set a schedule to build these relationships and work daily towards my goals. Before work, from 7 to 8 a.m., I would start 5 new conversations, not always related to Beachbody, and followed up with 5 people from the previous week. On my lunch break, from 12 to 12:30, I'd invite 5 new people to my challenge groups, and from 12:30 to 1, I would check in with my challengers and help them work towards their goals. After work, I would spend an hour from 6 to 7 starting an additional 5 conversations and expand my online network by friending 5 new people. I would also make sure to set up 1 to 2 calls a week to share my story with people who wanted to learn more about the business opportunity. I also got to know each person individually. I related to their struggles and connected to their whys. I asked questions and I listened. I asked questions like, what are you currently doing for fitness and nutrition? What kind of workouts do you like or dislike? What are your overall health goals? I would also really dive into why they wanted to make these changes and what was that emotion that was connected to their desire for change. I also asked questions like, what's held you back in the past from achieving your goal? Tell me what it would feel like to hit that goal. You want them to connect with the feeling of success versus focusing on the failure or the doubt. Because I spent this time building relationships and keeping my pipeline full, I always had people who were ready to work with me. I use a nice big whiteboard in my home office to keep track of what I'm doing. I created a 10 in play on my whiteboard, always having the names of 10 people I was talking to, along with a quick little 1 or 2 word note next to their name that would help me remember what we were focusing on. Each day, if someone became a customer or a coach, or if they were no longer interested, I would move them off the list and replace it with a new name. I found that 10 people was a number I could manage and give my attention to. In order to help my customers and coaches to stay motivated, I ran 2 challenge groups per month to help as many people as possible to see their best results. That helped me to create a more successful retention rate with my Shakeology customers, provided a motivational atmosphere, and gave people better results. That made them true believers and also helped to convert many of them to coaches, which helped me to work towards my long-term goal of building a strong team. Complacency doesn't work when you're pushing for big dreams. I was learning from my failures and working on becoming more flexible in my business. By combining all of the daily activities that you just heard, I was able to rank Advanced to Diamond in 1 month and leave my full-time job in just over 3 months. What went from a one-way ticket out of a life I was unhappy with has turned into a dream career that has opened the door for me to do what matters most to me in life, which is live freely with my newly growing family and help others to do the same. Start now. Identify your goals, get specific, and write down the daily activities you need to do to achieve those goals and commit to a schedule that will help put you on the path to your success.